Welcome to Fear Babes Podcast, a paranormal podcast founded and hosted by Fear Fam members.
All thoughts and opinions are strictly our own, and we are not affiliated with any shows in any way.
My name is Madeline.
My name is Burgundy.
My name is Jamie.
And we are the Fear Babes. Hi. Welcome back to another episode of Fear Babes Podcast. This week, we have a very special guest, which we'll get into here soon. But Jamie is not going to be joining us this week. It's just me and Burgy again, and our very special guest.
Guest.
Hope you like it.
Bro, I don't know what it is about when we press record, but it's like, we're all like, okay, it's time to do our shit. And then record happens, and I'm just like a giggly little bitch.
Exactly. I'm like,
you're all serious. You're like, hi, welcome back. And I'm over here like,
I saw the sound waves. I saw the sound waves moving.
I'm like, why is it funny? It's actually not. I'm just like, I don't know what it is about the recording persona, but it's just like the moment you click that button and it goes, do, do, do. It's like,
and it's like, getting nervous.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. So, Mads, how was your week?
It was very busy. Tax season has officially begun, and all hell broke loose. So, I am already drained, and I don't know how I'm going to find the will to live.
Girl, big oof, because you have like till April, right?
Yes. But the good thing is that it goes by really, really, really fast. So,
well, let's hope that that's the case and it goes as smoothly as it possibly can. I
know, right? So, I'm hoping for the best. As long as my boss's wife is out of it, I think we're good.
Sick.
I can handle it from there.
Hopefully it stays that way.
What about you? How was your week?
A lot. It was a lot.
A lot. Felt that?
Yeah, just a lot going on at work, man. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it because it's like, I function with high stress levels sometimes, but it's like, it's not like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like self-inflicted stress. Like, I stress myself out when I don't necessarily need to. You know what I'm saying? I put all this pressure on myself to do the very best I can, which stresses me out.
Yeah.
And it's like, why do I do this to myself?
Well, see, a piece of valuable information that my coworker gave me this week, because I was a little bit reprimanded, but she told me, she was like, you're one person, we're short-staffed, you can do what you can.
Yep.
Do what you can, don't let yourself get stressed. Easier said than done, but you can't sit there and constantly dwell on things that you can't change. And you can only do what you can in the moment. So that's it. And unless they're going to make two of you, well, suck my big toe.
Covered in toe cream and all. Gross. No, so like to piggyback off of that too, though, is we had a slow, and some people saw my tweet, so some people know, but once a month, last Thursday of the month, we do happy hour at work. And it's like we take 2 hours and we do an activity together, and then we celebrate the birthdays for the month and whatnot, right? Have some champs and some cake and whatnot. So,
damn.
Yeah, it's a good time. Love it. So this last Thursday was our happy hour, and we had a yoga instructor come in, and she was like teaching us some like meditations and some quick yoga moves to do in the workplace to like help you de-stress a little bit. So the one thing, I don't know what's happening with my throat, sorry. The one thing she did say that like, I was like, you know what? You're true. Was that she was talking about like, when you come into work every day, you need to set your intention for the day. And then she was talking about be aware of how your energy is being given from you to other people. And she was like saying that being nice is important, being nice to other people is important. In her opinion, that's one of the best qualities a person can have is their kindness. And then she's like, but you also have to be nice to yourself. And she said, if you're always beating yourself up, how does that serve you?
Exactly. Word. I didn't know if you were done or not.
No, you're good. Just
But
let that sit and soak in for a second. But
it's so true, though. Like, that's so true.
yeah.
Now I'm having my thinking moment. I'm like,
Well,
zoning out.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, though, Mads, and I wanted to share it with everybody as well, is she said, take 5 deep breaths. So you inhale through the nose and out the mouth, and you do this every time you're stressed, or if you're anxious or nervous or what have you, because the only thing you like constantly have in the present moment is your breath. Like, you're always breathing, right? And so if you're getting like anxiety or nerves or mad or sad or whatever, you're like okay, so I'm not a yoga professional, so like nobody, like, this is all passed on through someone else, okay? So don't quote me on all of this exactly, but I'm like, what if I'm giving bad information right now? That would be horrible. But so like when you're starting to get nervous or stressed or whatever, like your heart rate elevates and your breath becomes shallow. So if you take 5 deep breaths, that'll like mellow your breathing out, and that'll trick your body into thinking you're calmer.
So 5 deep breaths. Damn, where was this lady when I was having all that anxiety 3 years ago?
I know. I was like, I gotta tell everybody this because I know so many people that could use this.
I'm glad that they bring somebody like that in to talk to you guys about that kind of stuff. Really, not saying that your job is not stressful, but I wish that we had something like that in our office, because genuinely, I mean, the stress is piled on. Truthfully, now year round. So it's one of those things where it's like, damn it.
Yeah.
We need like somebody to tell us, hey, it's gonna be okay. Like,
right.
You know. We have my coworker, but she just offered that as a piece of personal information to me, not to all of us. Because I feel like it's very easy to take things too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like it's very valuable to try to have a good time. Yeah. Like, I still, when I am at work, I still try to like not just sit there and be stressed. Like, I try to be happy, because if I'm not happy, and if I'm not the normal jovial person that I usually am, then it does affect the energy in the office, like what you were saying.
Yeah, it does.
It's
and
true.
It trickles out through everybody else. And
all it takes is one person. One person to have a bad day, and then it's like, fuck, this day's gonna suck.
Literally. Well, and then because Aubrey does listen to us too, and for people who don't know, Aubrey is my manager at work. I love my job. I really do. I genuinely enjoy it. It keeps me on my toes mentally, which is something I really need, because like when I was at urology, I was never mentally challenged. Just doing the same mundane shit all the time. And for me, personally, that just doesn't work. Like, I can't do that. I can't be stagnant in like robot mode. Like, so like, yeah, sometimes we do get stressed out, but it's like, we're just so fast paced. Everything we do at Phoenix is so fast paced, and things change constantly. And some things become priority. Like, you get 5 minutes and then they're like, you have to do this right now. And you're like, fuck, okay, I'm on it. So it's like that kind of, it's not like we're not dealing with like super same stressful situations all the time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrid. It's just like sometimes it's like so fast paced, and it's like I said, I just inflict my own personal pressure on myself because I want to do a good job, because thanks my mom for raising me to be a little like go-getter at work and want to be like the best employee I can be, but it's hard sometimes. I'm like, I am capable of being a rock star, so that's what I have to do. I don't know if any of that made sense, but
no, it did. It did make sense. I'm just sitting here thinking about like I'm taking a personal reflection, because at my job, I've just lost my motivation to do well.
Tough. That's so fucking tough, man, because once that goes out the window, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah. It's So true. And I'm starting to get it back of like little pieces at a time because I have no choice. I'm the only one that has the knowledge that I have.
Mhm.
And that sucks. And what I mean by that is that like I'm the only one in my office that can help people that come to my office. And when I'm not there, like I wasn't there on Monday, all hell breaks loose. So
In a weird way, that has to make you feel kind of good, though. It's like, you need me.
They literally need me. They don't know what they would do without me. I'm being dead serious. Like, they just have no idea. It's the most basic of basic shit. And they just act like they can't do it. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. None at all.
It's like they rely on you too much, man.
They do. But they've made it that way because they won't hire anybody else. So
wild.
That's their own personal feat. So they're going to have to reap those consequences when something eventually does come along for me that's way better. So
yep. It is what it is.
That's that on that.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
Word. All right, sick. Well, anything else from the week before we dive on in?
I have no thoughts. Like my thoughts are just kind of like I'm just sitting here like, ooh.
Yeah, 2.0 from last week. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? It's like I'm good with like the conversational stuff, but when we get into stuff that like the paranormal, which let me just go on the record here and say we're not experts. Really, there's no experts in the paranormal. Everything is always changing. People are always finding out new things. So if we misstep in saying things, which I'm a big stickler about personally being like, am I saying the right thing? Is this correct? Like, you know what I mean? I think that's what I was struggling with more last week. It was part of my issue is that I was like, am I saying the right thing?
Right.
Like, are people gonna listen to this and think I'm a big fucking idiot or like what?
No. I think like mostly like with the paranormal too and stuff like this, like the conversations we're having like last week and this week, most of it is just like your own personal viewpoint and your own personal opinion. So it's kind of like it's just fun to talk to. It's fun to theorize these things. Not talk about. Here we go again. Mother trucker.
It's people got it.
Guys, I still have a migraine, okay? Anyways. Reboot. Just gonna unplug my brain. Plug it back in. Boop. Okay. Anyways.
Hope it works.
It's not gonna work. It's fine. It's fun to talk about these things. These are like, I call these like campfire conversations because we used to go camping all the time and we used to sit and like talk about like aliens and stuff like that around the campfire for like hours. And they're like my favorite type of conversations to have because it's cool to be like, this is what I think of this, but it's also like for me, it's fun to hear other people's theories on stuff like this as well. Yeah. And it's cool to just like get your little brain gears going and running in all different directions with these things. In my opinion, I don't know.
Well, definitely. I mean, it's so fun to like discuss because, like I was saying, there's nothing about the paranormal that is fact.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it such a broad, interesting topic for so many people. So many people have differing opinions about it. Like when we were talking to Kalani, you know, he was one of the first to share a similar ideology that I have come across personally. That doesn't mean that other people don't share the same thoughts and feelings about like how time is and how time works. I think that everything is bigger than we are. And I think that that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
You know? So,
exactly.
Okay. Did you want to talk about what we're talking about?
I like how you were just like, did you want to talk about what we're talking about? Like you just got like so quiet about it.
I don't know why I whispered that.
Did you want to do that really fast though? Okay, yeah, we're gonna get some Mads since you all whispered and got all soft and quiet. We're just gonna get really soft and quiet for a second. So today, yeah, really soft and quiet. So today, our conversation. So the reason we have to get quiet is because we're going to talk about dreams. And you're sleeping right now, and you're having a dream, and we don't want to interrupt your dream.
Exactly. That's the fun part about dreams.
We love dreams.
I love dreaming. And dreams.
Dream, 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 dream. Yeah, so we're talking about dreams today.
What were you singing? Because when you were saying it at first, I thought you were going to be like, dream, 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 from fucking Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
No, it's one of the songs. It might be on my oldies playlist too, actually. I forgot the name of it. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. It's a song from like the 50s or 60s or something.
Over my job! It's time to welcome our special guest.
Yay!
My mom!
Mom!
Hi, everybody.
I'm so excited.
You should have saw the way she grabbed the mic. She's like, oh my God. Her little hands just like grabbed it. She's like, I don't know.
Good thing it's not a video. No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
Don't make her feel self-conscious, Mads.
I know. A part of me wonders, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Real quick.
I'm here for it.
I'm just going to have us pass the mic around. I think it'd be easier.
It's like a real interview. Like
Just like a real interview.
Pretend that you're on like a news channel and you're like, what are your thoughts about that? And then just pass it back.
It's like, what are your thoughts on that? Okay.
Okay. So, Mom's here. We're excited. We're talking about dreams. Let's dive into it.
Hey, oh yeah.
Okay, Wendy. Here's the deal. That is forever gonna be our outro now. At the end of every podcast, I'm putting that little blurb at the end of every single one.
You have to tell the context on that because people are going to be like, what the fuck?
Okay, so we went on this girls' trip, right? And every time we go on a girls' trip, we always have some kind of saying where someone comes up with something stupid or goofy or whatever. And so we had, of course, been having a few beverages, and I just looked at everybody and I'm like, hey, oh yeah. And now every time we go on our trips, they're like, and Wendy is going to say, and they'll just point at me, and I'm like, hey, oh yeah. And everybody just like freaks out. Everybody's like, just dying laughing or whatever. But of course, that's always a few beverages in. So
I love that. That's so funny.
Oh my God. And
You know what's
Burgy,
great? You know what's
you
great
should-
about this? What?
you and Jay should fly out just one time for a girls' trip and you'll understand completely.
Okay, I'm down. You don't have to tell me twice.
It's insane.
Do you know what I
So-
love about this, Mads? You and Mom sound so much alike, and like, this is just gonna put all the puzzle pieces together for everybody. Like, like when we talk to my mom and we're like, "This is why Berg's the way she is." This now is happening for you and Wendy. You're Wendy. Fun fact for anybody that didn't know, both of our moms are named Wendy, so that makes us extra cool.
Yes, they are. They are both named Wendy. And you nicknamed your mom Wendith, so I'll call my mom Wendith as well.
It's all Wendith. Everybody's Wendith.
So yeah.
Sick. All right. Dreams. So people are probably like, what dreams? But this is a paranormal podcast. But in my personal opinion, I think that dreams sometimes could be paranormal.
Agreed. And that is actually why we brought my mom on the podcast, because she has some pretty interesting stories about some dreams that she had. And I feel as though they are paranormal related. There's no way around it. So I guess my first question would be, do you remember, Mom, your first paranormal dream? Do you remember your first one, or do you have one that like kind of sticks out to you? And you can think about it. It's fine, but I'll hand the mic to you.
I would say the very first time that I dreamed a paranormal dream was when my grandfather passed away. And it seems like they come to you in your dreams, which I've always heard that for some reason. They come to you when you're almost in the half awake state so that you don't forget that they were there. And I've had multiple dreams about loved ones. I first experienced it with my first grandfather that passed away. And when he came to visit me in my dream, it's always like a childhood thing, a memory that he would bring up. He used to play music with me. And so I sang while he played music. And so he would say, it would be a memory like that, a good memory. And then he would talk to me and, kind of catch up. But then I also, the next dream that I have had experience with was with my dad, because my dad passed away 10 years ago. This year it'll be 11. But he would come to me in my dreams, and I can remember saying to him, "Please don't leave, Daddy. Please don't leave." And I would tell him that I love him, and he would be there. You could feel the presence when you would wake up from that dream of that person being there, almost to the point to where you wake up and you're crying.
Yeah, it's super realistic.
Yes, very realistic. And so I completely 100% believe that they do come to you in your dreams and they want you to remember, and that's why they come to you while you're kind of in a half awake, half asleep state.
Yeah. Well, see, my thing is that I feel like you have expressed to me before that you feel like when you do see them, it's a younger version of themselves. It's not the version that you last saw them as. And I can attest to the very, very, very few dreams that I've had that Papa, which is your dad, the dreams that I have had about him, he's younger, but a version of him I've never seen before in my time. Like what I see in like the pictures. It's very odd. It's very interesting. But
I dig that because like I've heard theories of the afterlife, and like so when you go to heaven, you're actually like the version of you that was like the best version of you, like in your prime time. So that's kind of what you guys like what you're saying right now is making me like think of that.
Yes. And also like what she was saying is that with her grandpa, which is my great grandpa, I never met him. He passed in 1996, but he was a very musical person. I mean, that man could play pretty much any instrument because my grandma would play tapes of him, like playing music. He would record himself playing all different kinds of instruments. How he did it, I don't know, but that's here nor there. But it's like he was bringing Mom back to like a happy memory that they both shared. And didn't you say that like in your dreams with Papa, you're always on vacation?
Yes. When I would dream about my dad, a lot of times we were always on vacation because I would go on trips with them, even as an adult, places. And it seems like every time I have a dream about him, it's like he goes to the happy moments that made him the happiest and me. And we go share, a trip together again, like we did, whenever I was younger and stuff like that.
Which is really cool.
That is so cool. That is way cool. I will tell you guys that my Wendy, she's talked about having similar experiences as what you were saying, Wendy. And then like my grandma, her mom passed away quite a few years ago at this point now. And every now and then she'll have dreams of her, and she'll come in like say hi, but she's like when my mom and Dawn got together, my grandma gal like adored Dawn, so she'll always be like, and my love to Dawn to my mom, like in the dreams and stuff like that, and it just makes my mom so mad. She's like, what about me? Like, it's so funny. But it's cool the parallels that you two share with like your dreaming experience with like your passed on loved ones.
Yeah, it's she has that a lot more frequently than I do, and I was going to ask actually, have you ever had like any kind of visitation dreams from loved ones at all? Have you ever had anything that's remotely similar?
Not so much. I've had like maybe 2 or 3 total. We had a family friend a couple years ago. Their 16-year-old daughter committed suicide, and I want to say like I think that was in 2019. Like November 2019, 2018, 2019. So like 4 or 5 years ago now. And like 2 years ago, I saw her one time in a dream. And she was just telling me that she's okay and everything's good. She was just like checking in to see how we were doing. But that's like the only one I can really remember, to be honest with you.
That's really interesting though that you've had at least one.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder if everybody's had at least one.
Right. And then it's like for people who don't want to think about it being paranormal though, it's like, do you think that they're having these dreams and then because they're not thinking about it in a paranormal aspect, they're just like, oh, like maybe I just missed that person, so they're in my dream, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was another dream that I was thinking about that my mom had that had made her very emotional. That happened 2 years ago, was it right before Grandma passed away?
No.
It was after, like, the day that she passed, like that night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as I've stated very often on this podcast, my great grandma had a lot of involvement in my life. I was always at her house. I literally see her as a second mother, and my mom sees her the same way because she, like me, spent a lot of time with her when she was growing up and stuff because they lived right across the pond dam. So Grandma saw us both as her daughter. She said that in the end, but her passing was very hard on us. But I'm going to let Mom share her story about this dream because it's very interesting.
I'm ready to hear it.
It's almost like, I guess it was a dream, but not, it almost felt like we were talking about it being more paranormal. It really, really, when I woke up from it, I was so emotional, but I could hear my grandmother talking to me. She literally said to me, "Hey, sweet," which is what she called me. And she said, "I just want you to know that heaven is real, and you would not believe all of the different foods they have here is things that have never even been invented yet on Earth." Or she didn't say on Earth. She just said we're here. Never been invented here yet. And she's like, but, and in the dream, I could see other people besides her. It was like people were moving like really fast. And I could see just so many people that I didn't even know, just different people. And then she looked at me and said, "I have to go now." And I said, "Grandma, I love you so much." And she said, "I love you too, sweet." And that was it. And she was gone. And I woke up and I was just crying. I mean, the tears were just rolling down my face,
And that was the day she died?
Yeah, it was right. I actually think it was the night before the funeral.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
Isn't that interesting? Like the people in the background.
That is. I think it's cute too that she just wanted you to know that heaven is real. It's like she's telling you she's okay before she like fully went on.
Yeah.
That was so.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's so fascinating. But like a part of me wonders if like in these states of mind that mom was like, I'm not even sure if it was a dream. Like sometimes it makes you wonder if they make you see what they see.
Yeah.
And does that make sense? It's
Well,
like,
I was gonna say too, is it like you close your eyes and so she like kind of just like, I don't know how else to explain it other than she kind of just grabbed you and she was like, here, let me show you something real fast.
Yes.
Kind of like a vision almost.
Like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's cool.
It was exactly like that. Just, hey, sweet, you know, and like I felt her and knew she was there. And then it's like she showed me, like you said, what it's like. It was unbelievable.
I know this may not be the time to bring this up, but it just reminded me of Renesmee in Twilight where she touches everybody's face. And she's like, see this, you know what I mean? It's kind of
funny.
But it's like they can put you where like they can show you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
And it's like we are seeing heaven through their eyes, but it may not be like full out heaven. It could be like the in between.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like
maybe
they're allowed to show you a little bit, but not too much, you know?
Yeah. So like in the dreams, they take you to places in the in between that resemble places on Earth.
Right.
Like it makes you wonder if that's what they're doing. So weird.
That's so cool.
Weird. It's
so my
so
little
cool.
brain is going. It's all my little gears are running right now. I'm like,
I know.
All the thoughts.
It's wild.
You guys can't see me right now, but I'm just sitting here just like grinning like a fucking idiot because this is like so cool to me.
It is very cool. I was going to ask, have you, Mom, ever had any like experiences that resembled like maybe not necessarily a dream state? Have you ever seen any apparitions or people in your room when you were in like a twilight sleep?
No, I can't say that I've actually ever seen an apparition in person other than one time. Now, me and you were in the same place. We were actually in a car getting ready to leave to go somewhere, and both of us caught a glimpse of my grandfather. And I said, "That I just saw Pawpaw." Just like all of a sudden, just like psh, he was there and boom, he was gone. And Madeline said, "Didn't you say you saw him too?" Mm-hmm. So that's the only time I've actually seen an apparition. I have felt touches. I've felt, people touching me in my sleep. I did have one time my best friend, she passed away in 2020, and we were really, really, really close. And one night I was laying in bed, I was completely alone, and I felt someone hugging me, just like grabbed my whole body and hugged me. And I didn't know who it was at first, and I was kind of unsure about it. But the strange thing about it is me and my cousin, her name is Lynn.
Hold on real quick.
Okay.
Keep your train of thought. I talk about Lynn a lot. Lynn is the cousin that I was telling you about that has she's clairvoyant as well. Mm-hmm. And so she's the one that I talked about last week that was like, she looked at us that one time during our meeting and was like, you have lived a past life and you have definitely lived a past life and stuff like that. But anyway, yes. So her name is Lynn. That's the cousin that I was referring to in last week's episode. Anyway, continue.
So I had not even woken up fully yet. I was getting up for work. My alarm had went off and everything. I looked down at my phone and I had a text from her, and I immediately read it. And she said that my friend Jamie had came to her and told her that she wanted me to know that she hugged me in my sleep that night.
Did you just start crying? I would have just started crying.
I was bawling. I was like, she did not even know that I had had that experience. And at the time, I wasn't sure who it was. I just knew it was someone who loved me. And it was just like if someone came up to you and wrapped their arms around you tightly and just hugged you so tight to let you know that they loved you. That's the way it was.
That's so cute.
I know. Isn't
I'm
that
getting like my
wild?
eyes getting all watery over here.
I
I
know.
love that.
It's really, I think that what mom, like, obviously she's not intentionally trying to have these dreams, but I think it's really cool what she does.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
It's just straight up a gift right there.
It's definitely a gift.
I don't, do you see it as a gift, Wendy?
Yes, I absolutely do. I do see it as a gift. I don't know why I have these dreams, but I'm blessed to have them or have these experiences with my loved ones. It may not even necessarily be family. Actually just this week, I had a dream about my ex boss that passed away. She passed away a couple months ago. It's only been like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I had not thought about her or even, I haven't really thought about her at all. And just all of a sudden, randomly, I had a dream about her. But obviously, she wanted to come and speak to me for whatever reason and let me know how important I was to her. Because in the dream, she took me on we were actually in a helicopter. And she took me like on this trip. And then we landed like at a restaurant. And we went in and had dinner together. And I thought, I wonder if that was her way of letting me know that I was important to her. And she was just telling me goodbye, I just thought it was strange that I randomly dreamed about her,
That's interesting.
And it's just so interesting when you think about it. And I didn't forget the dream. I remembered it, when I woke up, and it happens a lot, really.
Yeah.
But I see it as a gift for sure.
See, that's the thing too, though, with dreams is like a lot of people are like, I never remember my dreams. And so it kind of makes you wonder sometimes if it's like you remember the ones you're supposed to remember for some reason.
Absolutely. I believe that 100%. Mm-hmm.
Mads, what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, it kind of brings me to another experience that I know one of our listeners, Susie, would probably enjoy. And I'm going to ask Mom if
Hi,
she
Susie.
remembers this. Huh?
I said, hi, Susie.
Oh, yeah. So basically, it was in this house that I live in presently. And my mom used to live in this house. And do you remember, Mom, you were in your room and you randomly heard a woman like wailing, crying?
Absolutely. Yes, I do remember that. Mm-hmm.
And that was in your sleep?
Yes, it was. And you said that it reminded you of a movie?
No, it reminds me of a legend called, of La Llorona.
Yes. And I couldn't figure out, like, I was I was definitely in a twilight sleep, but I heard a woman crying. And I was like, where is that coming from? I still to this day don't know. And then I mentioned it to Madeline and she told me about that legend.
Well, see, the thing is that we live near like a body of water. Like we have a creek that runs through our driveway, and I think it was up. Now, I'm not, obviously, on this particular morning, it's been a minute since I have refreshed my memory on the legend of La Llorona, but I know that she drowned her kids in a river. And I've heard, if I remember this correctly, forgive me if I'm incorrect, but you'll find her wailing around some sort of body of water. So I was like, Mom, did you just have an encounter with La Llorona?
Oh, possibly. I mean, it's not impossible, right?
No, yeah, nothing's impossible. But
That's
see, again, she
interesting.
was like half asleep.
Yeah.
So it's another one of those experiences.
It's
where
kind of like
what the fuck?
when you start to enter, they call it the veil. We're going to have a conversation about the veil in one of these podcasts one of these days. I'm just telling you right now. Because, yeah, I have an experience with that one too. But earlier you were talking and you were asking Wendy about has she ever seen apparitions. But I'm also curious for both of you. Have you ever had like a sleep paralysis experience and then see something? Because like I know I've mentioned before, I think in our season 1, I would have sleep paralysis and I would see like a purpley haze in my room. And I was like I freaked myself out, so I was like, hopefully this is not paranormal. But have you guys ever had anything like that?
I have not had that experience. I do know that Samuel has had it,
Oof.
Madeline's brother, because he mentioned it one time that he had that experience to me. I don't know if he saw anything paranormal. I just remember him saying that he experienced the sleep paralysis. What about you?
I have had a sleep paralysis. One particular instance that scared the living shit out of me. It wasn't paranormal, I don't think. But we went to Morehead City, close to the Outer Banks, to visit our family friend Tamara. And it was my first time visiting there. And I don't know if it was because I was so tired or what the fuck, but I had like fallen asleep and like in the middle of the night, I like woke up, but my body, like I couldn't move it. And I was like, my breathing was just like how it would be if I was asleep. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had. And I hope I never have it again. I do not like that feeling because it's like you're wanting to panic, but you can't.
Well, yeah. So like for me, mine was like, I don't know. I've been on, the migraine issues. I've had several different medications throughout the time frame because we've been trying to like get them under control and shit. And I failed meds left and right. So I was like, maybe it was the meds, like a side effects of the meds I was on, but I tried to tell the doctor that and he told me no. So I don't know. But anyways, I'd be like sleeping and then my eyes would open, but I couldn't move my body and I was like trying to say something, but like it was just like no sound was coming out or like a really weird like screamish type of sound because I was trying to say words, but I couldn't like form words, Yeah. And I would just see like in the corner of my room near the closet would just be every time, because it happened a handful of times. It was like this purpley, smoky haze. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it was just probably like 2 feet down from the ceiling, like ceiling to 2 feet down, and it encompassed this whole area, and it was just like purpley, smoky haze type of thing. And I would just stare at it, and I would try to like scream or say something, but I couldn't, and I couldn't move, and it'd be a solid couple of minutes before I would like wake up and become conscious and like actually be able to move, and it just kind of would freak me out.
Yeah, I do not like the feeling. That's the one and only time that I've ever like had an awareness of it. Like, of course, I think anybody can say this. It's like if you have a nightmare and you're dreaming really, really hard and you're trying to wake yourself up. I've had quite a few dreams like that from very, very scary dreams. So I guess that poses the question, have either you, Burgy, or you, Mom, had an experience like that where you're like dreaming so hard and you're trying to wake yourself up and you can't?
Like in the dream, you're trying to wake yourself up?
In the dream, yeah.
I've had a few. There's been like times where I'm like in the dream. It's like you almost start to become conscious while you're still dreaming. You get that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're like something will start to get creepy in my dreams, and then I will be like, you have to wake up, you have to wake up. But it's like there's a weird plane between waking up and still seeing your dream at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's freaking freaky, yeah. And I'm just like, come on, wake up. And you're like trying to like, it's almost like you're trying to like hit yourself or like blow on your own face. You're like, you have to wake up before this gets weird. Like,
literally.
But what about you, Wendy? Anything like that?
Yes, I've definitely had dreams like that where I'm like, wake up, because I'm scared. And the weird thing about it is most of the time it's whenever I dream about a tidal wave. I'm terrified of tidal waves for whatever reason. I have dreams about them all the time, and I'm like, wake up, this is a dream, wake up, and I try to get myself to wake up, but I can't. And I have been in that same state where you're like between the dream and awake, like you were talking about, Burgundy, where you're kind of like, I'm trying to wake up, wake up, but you just can't get awake for whatever reason.
It's a freaky spot to be in.
It is. It's absolutely.
that brings me to my thoughts. I think I've shared this story on the podcast. It's actually kind of intense. It's definitely not one of my favorite dreams to tell, but the one that comes to mind that made me feel that way was this dream I had about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe even 6. I honestly have no idea. But it's one of those dreams that stick with you forever. Like, I will never forget this dream. I was in this random ass house. I've never been there before. It resembled something like the kind of furniture and like the decorations in the house resembled something very 70s, 80s-esque. Like weird carpet, weird walls. Like the walls were like an orangey color. I hate that color. That color that just makes you think of like the 70s and 80s. Like,
Is
you
it
know
like
what I'm
the
talking
color
about.
of the ringer background?
Yeah, kind of, except uglier.
Okay.
I don't know how that's possible, but yeah. And I was standing in there and I thought that it was weird. Like, I was looking around and there were crosses all over the wall. And all of a sudden, like, I had heard 3 church bells go ding, ding, ding.
No.
And all the crosses turned upside down.
No. That's so
And
creepy.
I got this overwhelming, like, very scary, like, feeling. And all of a sudden, I started in my dream saying the Lord's Prayer. I was trying to wake up. Like, I just felt this panic. Like, my heart was racing so fast. I could feel it in the dream. And I couldn't see anything, but I could feel everything. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And I kept saying the Lord's Prayer. I'm like, I was just quoting anything that I could remember. And the next thing I know, I abruptly woke up and I was like sweating. I was panting and my heart was beating so fast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what kind of fucking dream was that? That was a nightmare, really.
That's
But-
creepy.
Which I guess leads me into another question. See, I mean, like, questions come up when you're talking about stuff like this.
Mhm.
But do either of you have a nightmare that sticks out to you the most? Like one that has stuck with you for life?
I'll let Wendy go first on that one.
I would definitely say it's one of my tidal wave dreams. I mean, they're so scary to me. I don't know why I have them.
Side note, where we are, we don't have earthquakes. We don't, like, we may have an earthquake every now and then, but it's such a low magnitude, it wouldn't do anything. And the dreams that she's talking about, the tidal waves are like insanely big, like day after tomorrow dreams, where like the tidal wave like goes over the building kind of ordeal. Like, it's not like a real tidal wave where it just floods. It's like insane. I don't know, but we do not have anything like this here. It's not like we live in California. And I don't know. It's just funny to me. Anyway, keep going.
I mean, it's like, it's not a tsunami. That's what you're trying to say. A tsunami is where the water rushes in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's not that. Like, I literally, the waves in my dreams start getting bigger and bigger and bigger until they're like huge when they're coming onto land. And then I'm trying to run from it. I'm like running upstairs, trying to climb the highest building. Like, I'm just like trying to run from the water.
And like, it's funny looking at it now, but it's really fucking scary.
Yes, I'm scared. I'm terrified out of my mind. I'm like, ah!
Just
That's probably
running.
the scariest dream I've had.
It's just like all of them like compiled together.
That is wild.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I've had dreams like that too. I've had tidal waves, tsunami dreams. I've had dreams about tornadoes, which is more of a
Tornadoes, yeah.
realistic fear here.
Yeah.
Tornadoes.
Yeah.
I was
get a lot
born
of
during a
tornado
tornado,
dreams.
by the way, guys.
Oh, damn. All right.
I'm serious. Mom can vouch.
Yes, she was.
So anyway, Burgy.
Just like how you're like, yeah, I was born during a tornado. So yeah, anyhow.
I mean, do you want context? I can
It's
give
part
you
of your
context.
personality, or no? Just kidding.
I
so
I used
funny.
to joke as a kid because I thought it was such a flex. I was born during a tornado and everybody survived it. And I was like, it wasn't even
welcome.
like that. It wasn't even a touchdown one, was
No,
it?
wasn't.
But
It was just
the wind was
funneling.
blowing really hard.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if anybody else can say this, but I remember it being a thing in the 90s to film births. And so my mom had like, who was filming the birth?
My cousin,
Which one?
Becky.
Becky? Ew. We don't stand Becky anymore. So Becky was filming my birth, which fuck that bitch. There's family drama going on with that. Anyway, so she was filming my birth and I watched myself be born, and you can hear the wind blowing in the background. I mean, obviously mom's like, "Rah!" But
You can start shh in the
the
background.
door bust open in the background because the wind was blowing so hard. I wish I still had that tape. So, yeah. Anything you would like to say about my birth?
I plead the fifth.
Just that it was the best experience of your life.
No.
Okay, so she came in like a whirlwind and she still won. How about that?
See, the tornado thing, it factors in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
That's
Okay.
funny.
Anyway, that was just a random ass fucking fact.
So back to
Now you
nightmares.
guys-
No.
Yeah. Now y'all know way more about me than you want to. But what is a nightmare that sticks out to you, Berkey?
Okay, so like I was trying to think. So the reason I was like, when did it go first? It's because it's weird because I will have nightmares, and then for the next couple days, when I go to fall asleep, I will like vividly remember those nightmares. So I'm like trying to get them out, like not think about them, right? But I can't. Like none of them specifically come to my mind at the moment. But there was this experience I had probably like 3-4 weeks ago now, and it was like I was almost asleep, but not quite. It's like when you're starting to enter REM sleep, but you're still slightly conscious, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what exactly happened, but I'm almost asleep and something blew on my face. Like actually, like I felt like something actually blew on my face. It was like, and I just like jolted awake. And I don't know, but that scared the shit out of me, dude. It was like the freakiest thing. But what was weirder was when I like was because I like physically jumped Annie and I sleep back to back, and I like moved so hard that she like got pushed away from me.
Oh,
I know. But then when I was like awake, and I'm just like looking at my room and the dogs and everything, like I didn't feel like anything was there. I didn't feel like something was watching me, like nothing.
that is fucking
that's
creepy.
That's been the most recent thing that's been on my mind when I'm falling asleep. I'm like, I hope I don't have this experience again.
Well, see, when this brings me into like another topic of dreams, but when I was younger and even especially now, I will hear things in my sleep, like full out voices talking. Like it sounds like it's in another room, or it sounds kind of like TV static. I've heard something just right there at my ear say my name, like just full out Madeline. I'm like, what the fuck? Like it jolts me out of my sleep.
to me. Yeah.
So you just said that you had an instance like that, but Mom, have you ever had an instance like that? Like you can hear voices in your sleep?
Yes. But it's usually a voice that says mom.
What the fuck? Well, hold
Or
on.
mommy. So I actually miscarried before I had Madeline, and they had told me it was twins.
Oh, no.
So sometimes I wonder if that's what it is. Because even when my kids were younger, there were a couple of times I thought it was them calling out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go and check on them and they were still asleep. So it wasn't them. And then I kind of thought it could be the ones that I lost, you know. And I still hear it sometimes. It's been a while, but I do hear it every once in a while. Say mom or mommy. It kind of freaks me out a little bit.
That's so interesting, though.
It's weird as
That's
fuck.
wild. That's wild, yeah.
But it's I mean, I'm interested if anybody, any of our listeners, I'm curious as to whether or not any of you have had an experience in your sleep where you can hear voices, because it is so scary. And sometimes you can tell that it's somebody, that has a loving presence. Other times it's hard to indicate. But just a couple weeks ago, I had an instance with something like saying hello. I get hello a lot. Like I'll hear hello, and it's like really loud in my ear.
Oof.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm trying to sleep.
Like, sir or madam, you are interrupting my peace right now.
Literally. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah. Anything else you wanted to say about that topic?
No, but whenever you guys are ready, if Wendy doesn't have anything to add to that, I have another direction we could take this.
I'm curious as to what your other direction is.
We've been talking about, like, paranormal and past loved ones coming to see us and stuff in dreams, but, like, if we take it the other direction, I'm curious if either of you have had any experiences where your dreams have kind of led you towards, like, things that are coming up, like, in, I guess, basically future telling, but not future telling at the same time. Like, for example, I've said this before on the podcast, but we're on the whole topic now, so I'm saying it again. But plus for Wendy, because I don't know if she knows. I used to have this ex-boyfriend, and, like, after we broke up, if I would have a dream about him within the next, like, 3 to 5 days, he would reach out to me. And it happened a lot. Like, I'm gonna say at least 15 times it happened. I would just, like, if I would dream about him, I knew within the next couple of days that he would try to, like, contact me again. Have you ever had anything like that?
I know I've had dreams about things before they happen. I'm just trying to think of a specific instance. Now, I have had a reoccurring dream.
Ooh.
And it's not, like, as parallel as your dreams where you would have it and then he would just be like, what up?
Instant answers type of thing.
Yeah, it's more of like the reoccurring dream of like my future husband. Why in the mother fuck? That is my like subconscious's fixation, whether it is my subconscious or not. I don't know. That's another thing we can get into here in a second. But like it was more of I can see him, but not his full face.
Interesting.
Like I see the hair, the eyes, like I see all of that. So every time I've noticed, like throughout my whole life, I'm drawn to the same type of man. Like every single dude that I've ever liked, they all look the same.
Because it fits the profile of your future husband.
Right?
In your
I
dreams.
guess so. But like when I'm thinking about someone that I like, I don't sit there and analyze them as, wow, he could be my future husband. He's got this, this, and this. Mm-hmm. It's more of just like, oh, suddenly I'll realize it. But mom had something to say.
I did have an instance one time, and I'm sure there's others, but I did have one instance one time I was scared because I had split up with my husband, and I thought to myself, I'm never going to meet anybody else. I'm too old. Nobody's ever going to come along. They're not going to want an old woman. Like, they're just not going to want me. And I had a dream where it's like God showed me, I don't know how else to say it, but that I would meet someone else. And the weird thing about it is he showed me specifically, and at the time I didn't realize this, but I was sitting in a porch swing, and the man said to me, "Are you happy?" And I said, "I'm the happiest I've ever been." And I firmly believe that that's my husband I'm married to now.
Yeah, I can see that. Right
That's so
because he built me a porch swing.
Aww.
And and we have sat in that swing numerous times looking over the hills. And in my dream that I had, I was looking over hills, but I couldn't figure out where it was at, where the whole time it was in my grandmother's house, looking over the hills from her porch. oftentimes I sit there and I think this was what God showed me, this is what I saw in the dream, because I kept thinking that I would never have another husband. And he was like, oh, yes, you are. And this is it. It was like, it wasn't a long glimpse, but like a split glimpse, into the future, I guess. And I think everybody has futuristic dreams. I mean, you just don't realize it sometimes.
Right. Do you think that that's kind of maybe where deja vu comes from sometimes? It's like, I've seen this before. How have I seen this before? In your dreams, homie. Like,
Yep. Personally, yes.
yeah. I've had
Absolutely.
personal experiences like that.
I wish I could think of another more specific instance where I have had something, like I've dreamt of something and it happened later, because I know that I've had them. But hopefully one day when I'm finally no longer single and I do in fact get married, I might have a deja vu moment where I'm like, what the fuck? This is what I was thinking this whole time. Like, who knows?
That would be so cool.
Your mom just sneezed and she just like held it in. She goes,
You can let it out, Mom. We can cut it out of the podcast.
yeah,
It's
we
okay.
can. Yeah, we can. But there is one more thing that I wanted to say. So like, you know how I was actually telling Mom the story this morning about how like a couple weeks ago I was telling you about how I've been having dreams about like past dudes that I've liked or had a thing with or whatever.
Yes.
And it was like a detox of just like each dream was like letting them go
Mm-hmm.
in like the weirdest way. Like I have not thought about these people since like one of them was like my middle school crush. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
Where you're like, I
haven't
kind of
thought this
forgot
guy
about you
since,
for a
like,
second.
it's weird. Like I woke up and I was like, that's odd. But it was another one of those dreams where it's like letting go, like letting go of everything from the past and just kind of like focusing more on the future. So a part of me wonders if something's coming. And a lot of people think, which I mean, that could be crazy to some, but I feel as though a lot of people think that your dreams are your subconscious's desires. And I don't necessarily think that that's true in every instance.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that all dreams are paranormal, but I think there can definitely be a paranormal aspect to dreams. I don't
Yeah.
think every dream you have is just like images of your subconscious, like from the day you've had and stuff like that. Like a lot of people are like,
Right.
well, it's just your brain decompressing from the day you've had. And like, I feel like sometimes your dreams are to give you messages, or
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's just it, is it's just giving you messages for one way or another, you know?
Giving you messages from like, when I say this, it doesn't necessarily mean paranormal, but it's more of like you're having a message from a higher power of some sort. Not necessarily, some of the time it could be God. Some of the time it could be like, a lot of people believe in spirit guides, stuff like that. And it makes you wonder, like, are they trying to point me in the right direction by showing me this in my dream? Are they, you know, like, what is the purpose of this dream? Because I mean, I have never felt that every dream that I've had where I wake up and I'm like, why did I dream of this person or about this particular thing? I don't think that every time it's a subconscious desire kind of
Right.
thought. It's more of like, is it the energy of this person? Is it the energy of this place? Is it the energy of this thing? Like, I don't know. Oh, I just realized I do have dreams about things that have that happen. You know how like me and Mom here recently last year before we went on the cruise, I had a dream that we were going to go on a cruise. And then,
Oh, yeah, you were saying that to me the other day.
yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned it on last week's podcast or what, but like I had a dream that we went on the cruise and it was not even planned, not even a little bit yet. Like it was around this time last year. And lo and behold, we went on the cruise. Then I had a dream that we were going to go to the Biltmore. Well, I've had dreams about the Biltmore before, but like I had never been. And so I told Mom, I said, I think we're supposed to go to the Biltmore. And so it ended up coming to fruition. I had dreams about me flying in 2022 before I flew for the first time. It's like dreams like that. Like those seem more travel specific, but I have technically had dreams like that. So to answer your question, I got kind of off topic, but yeah, so I guess that's one example.
Yeah, that's cool though. I want to tell the listeners, if any of you have any thoughts that are parallel or go along with anything we've discussed, please let us know, because I'm just curious. Just pure curiosity here.
Me as well. I am very interested in all of this, and I'm curious as to what other people have to say. Mom, thank you for joining us today. I think we had a really good conversation.
Yeah, I was super excited to have you on, Wendy, and my Wendy is excited to listen to your episode if Mads hasn't told you yet. And yes, thank you for joining us. This was great.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It was great.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!
So, with that being said, I don't know what our plans are for next week.
Oh, we're just gonna freaking wing it. Oh my gosh, here we go again. It's a struggle.
We'll come up with something for sure.
Are we releasing our Patreon soon?
We should be soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but I'm definitely hoping soon.
Y'all keep an eye out for our Patreon. We did record our first special podcast for that last night, so we are going to get that going soon.
Hell yeah. So there's a couple more things that we need to iron out, but everything is getting to where we're about to set it up, and I'm so excited.
Me too.
Project Fear comes back next week, so I'm excited about that.
Guess we gotta do that shit too, huh?
Yeah. But just a gentle reminder that we won't be covering Project Fear until the following week. Unless next week we feel like we need to talk about it. That could happen.
It could, yeah. It very well could. But
it very well could.
Our plan at the moment is we're only going to talk about each location one time.
Yes. We just feel that it may be a little bit easier to discuss like evidence and favorite moments and stuff. We just thought that it would help to just do it once per location. So
we're going to bring back contests so that we can have Fear Fam guests to join us when we talk about Project Fear, basically.
Perfect. Yeah. So that'll start next week for our Project Fear episode.
Yeah. So if you remember, if you don't remember, if you're new here, if you're old here, you never participated, now you want to. What we do is we record the episode, we figure out something random to see if you were paying attention. We're like, hey, here's a question, answer it. Whoever answers first gets to be our guest the following week. So that is how we do.
Do you need to sneeze?
It's like, sneeze, Wendy.
She's just sitting over here fighting for her life. She's like, she has her fist up to her mouth, but she's like, she's struggling.
Go ahead, do it. Just do it. Let it out.
Now it's gone.
Aww.
But yeah, pretty much what Burgy said. To sum it up, next week should probably be a really good week. So yeah, I think that wraps it up.
On that note, then, goodbye, babes.
Bye, babes. Oh. I don't know what that was, but
yeah.
Why did I have a penis? Please tell me you know that fucking video.
What video?
Of that little girl, like it was asking like questions. It was like a bunch of little kids, and they were just saying the most random shit. They had to have been prompted. I don't know. But the little girl, she goes, "Why do I have a penis?"
I don't know if I do know that video.
No way. No fucking way.
Do you have it somewhere locked and loaded?
Oh, yeah.
You can send it on over.
Please just watch it real quick before we get into this.
Okay. Oh, load.
Big fat veiny cock.
Oh no! No! Wow! This part! No! Hold on.
That should have been for a Fear Babes After Dark.
This is it. Fuck!
Are you sure? Oh my gosh.
That one's even funnier though. Big fucking cock. Mom's like dying.
Frank? I like the first one better.
That was so good.
Big fat veiny cock.
What? What the fuck? Honestly.